Well, hello there, everybody. Happy Sunday to you. Hey, if I say it's cleanup time, do you cringe a little bit? I know that preschool cleanup time is not very fun. It can actually be really exhausting because you feel like you're the only one cleaning up. So, if you feel this way, please know you are not alone. And today we're going to talk all about how to make preschool cleanup time just a little bit easier because I've seen it all throughout the years. I have seen, you know, oh, I need to go to the bathroom every time we clean up. I've also seen kids who are just immobile when trying to clean up, like, oh, I can't move. I'm just so tired. I'm going to have to lay down. I just can't. And then it's like, well, will you be able to go outside and play? Oh, absolutely. I'll be fine by then. You know, all these little shenanigans that they do to try to get out of cleanup. Because let's be honest, nobody really likes to clean up. I mean, maybe some people do. I don't know. I'm not one of those people who just loves it. And so I get it. We don't want to do it. And more, we're finding kids that just aren't doing it as much. And so we're seeing that come into the classroom. And so really it's us. We have to teach them this, right? This is a missing skill. They don't know how to clean up. And so what can we do to make cleanup time easier? Well, I found some strategies that work really well for me, and so I wanted to share them with you in case you found a few little nuggets in there that maybe you can take back to your classroom and try out and see how they work. So, again, not most fun, right? But the very first thing you can do, if you're not already doing it, is use a song to signify that it's cleanup time. So if you are just saying, okay, guys, time to clean up, that may not do it, right? Singing really, really helps. And we actually have a bell ringer as part of our classroom jobs. And so that person, that child, gets to ring it's just a triangle, like musical instrument triangle. They ring that, and that signifies cleanup time. So if you can do something that signifies cleanup time every time, do it the same. Maybe it's a certain song, right? They're going to start hearing that and remembering what that means and what that expectation is. So I like to have a bell ringer ring the bell, and then I also start singing. And I have kind of made up my own songs along the way that kind of guide them and give them direction, that I just sing while I see what's going on. So I'm going to give you an example. Please bear with me. I'm not the best singer. I've never been accused of being Beyonce or anything, but my kids don't mind it. And honestly, kids don't care when you sing. They just don't care. They love it. And if you haven't figured out singing in your classroom, it's just magical. It's almost like a little trance goes over and they're like, oh, what she's saying? Okay, let's go do that. And it's just this little magical trick that I pull out literally every single day and use because it works. And so one thing we do, we ring the bell and I'll say, clean up, everybody, everywhere, like that same normal song, right? And then I switch into stop, what you're doing. So I have seen in the past, a lot of them are hearing the cleanup song, but they are still playing. And so I wanted to give them the direction of stopping inside my song. So I sing it. Stop, what you're doing. It's time to clean up our classroom. Stop, what you're doing. It's time to clean up. So that's the one I sing. I basically sing 3 different songs in a row, but it just rolls off my tongue now because I've done it so long. So the first one, they ring the bell. The first one is the normal clean up, pick up, put away. And then the next one is kind of that signifying of if you have not stopped yet, it's time. So stop, what you're doing. It's time to clean up our classroom. Stop, what you're doing. It's time to clean up. And then I'll move into giving some props to the friends I see cleaning up. And so it'll look like, thank you. And then I put in their name for cleaning up today. Thank you, Jordan, for cleaning up today. Thank you, and then they're like, say my name. I'm watching. And so I go through and I pretty much always sing everyone's name because it does get them into the cleaning mode. And then at the end, thank you everyone for cleaning up today. Thank you everyone for cleaning up today. And then we immediately go to the rug And so I just switch and do have a seat on a ladybug, have a seat. We have ladybugs on our carpet. You could just say have a seat on the carpet, have a seat. And so it's just all these things coming together. And so I like doing the songs um, for me singing them. I prefer that because I can kind of tailor like, oh, I see nobody stopping what they're doing. I'm going to go ahead and start the stop, stop, stop what you're doing. And then, going around the room and helping that. So if you're not using singing and you're not singing your directions, let me just tell you, you're going to love it, and it's going to become so much easier. And don't care if they don't think you sing well. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. They don't care. A lot of them don't sing well, right? It doesn't matter. It's just, this is a way to get their attention and get them moving towards what you want to do. Also, another model. I know you probably did not play with all those toys, and I know that you probably did not make up all that mess, but it's important that we model what cleaning looks like, because as you're probably finding, and I know I have found in our classroom, is that sometimes kids don't know how. They've never cleaned up their toys before. I've had some children tell me, my mom does that. I don't do that. Well, in this classroom you do, right? If you played with it, you help clean it up. And so, side note also, I am not one of those teachers that's really great about clean up your area before you move on to another. I wish I was. I just can't seem to figure out how to make that work for me. And I've just decided I don't really care that much. So what we do is they play, they get out their things, and we all clean up everything. Because, we're helping each other. We don't get into the whole, I didn't play with that, so I'm not cleaning it up. Nope, they're all our toys. We're all in a class together, so we're all cleaning up together. So that's kind of how I've always approached it, and it's worked out just fine. So when I hear those, but I didn't play with that, I didn't make that mess. Yeah, I know, but you're part of our classroom community, and you can help us too. So kind of that giving back to the community type of thing. Now, if I have one kiddo that has went around and dumped bucket after bucket after bucket, that's a little bit different, right? So modeling. So make sure that they know what this even looks like. And so I obviously help, because if I don't, it may take a very long time. And plus I'm modeling what cleaning up looks like. And that's important too. So I'm never above cleaning, right? I'm always right there, down there, cleaning up with them. Another thing I love to do is assign some tasks. Sometimes I will see kiddos just kind of floating about the room. If you aren't really paying close attention, they might look like they're doing something productive in the cleaning department, but they aren't. I don't know if you have seen those kiddos, but they're just kind of like, la da 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 da, I'm going to walk over here, I'm going to walk over there, and nothing's really getting done. And so I've started giving them a specific task. Like I tell them, okay, can you please go over and clean up the art center? So now you are not just whole room, like that gets really overwhelming, right? When you say, go clean up, and they see this whole room of stuff they need to clean up, it's like, well, where do I even start? And so if I can help them by going, oh, can, this child and this child please go over and clean up the art center? That gives them a little bit direction, right? It took the whole room and broke it down into one section. And if that's not enough, I even go one step further and I get more specific. So if I still have that kiddo that's like, I either don't want to or don't know what to grab, like I'm just overwhelmed, or I just don't even really want to do this, I will give them a specific task. So instead of just go to the block center to clean up, I will say, here's the animal bucket, go pick up all the animals. That feels more doable to kids, because it's this one, oh, I can do this one task, and then you've kind of put them in charge of it. And so many times I found that it's like, no, don't pick up the animals, I'm in charge of the animals. Like they have bought in to that, and so they're like, okay, I got this. And that works beautifully a lot of the time. And it also is like, okay, we're already working on sorting. Cleaning is basically a sorting task, right? And so once you're giving them that, hey, I need these specific things cleaned up by you, it kind of takes that overwhelm away, and it kind of makes them, because I think sometimes it's like, you want me to clean what? You want me to clean this whole thing? I can't do that. It's too hard. La, la, la. No, just this one task. And so that has been one of the biggest, best things that I have done is just really assigned it almost. Just taken away the just go clean up. If you see it on the floor, pick it up. That's not something that some children do. Other children totally makes sense to them. They're like, okay, I know this goes over here, this goes over here. They're your best cleaners, but they shouldn't be always the ones that have to do all the cleaning up while the other children just kind of float about. So I like to give specific tasks. Another thing is make sure that you have labels on everything. I made the mistake very early on of me knowing where it went, and then when it didn't get put away, I wondered why they couldn't figure it out. Well, they can't read my mind. And so I started putting labels on everything, and it just makes it that much easier. Obviously, the animals go in this tub. There's an animal. There's animals on the label, right? Obviously, Magna-Tiles go in this box because there's Magna-Tiles, and so they can do that themselves. And then also, if you've got those cleaners that are like just taking a handful of everything and throwing it in a bucket, you generally will have some friends around going, no, that is the animals bucket. This is this bucket. This goes in here. And just really working on that sorting and not taking the easy way out, right? Like just put it back where it belongs so we can find it later. But if we don't have those labels with pictures, because obviously our kids can't read, then you're going to hear a lot of, teacher, where does this go? Where does this go? Where does this go? I don't know what to do with this. And just lots of voices coming at you, and you just don't need that. Your brain is already being yanked many different directions. So make sure you have labels with pictures. That's going to help a lot. And then the last one is, here's the deal. We always have at least one or maybe two every year. They are non-cleaners. They are cleaning a verse. They do not like it. They are going to fuss loudly. They are going to protest. They are not going to clean that up. And this is what I do, and it works pretty darn well. I ask the rest of the class to please leave one certain kind of toy. So let's say I know that kiddo played with Magna-Tiles. They don't want to clean it up. They don't want to do anything. So they're over being mad in a different part of the classroom. And I don't know what's going on in their mind. Maybe it's too overwhelming. Maybe they think this will get them out of it. Maybe this has worked before. I don't know. But I do know that I want to make sure that they're held accountable and that they are helping as a part of the classroom. And so usually what I do, and it nips it in the bud, I usually don't have to do it once or twice, maybe throughout the year, is just tell the rest of the friends, please leave the Magna-Tiles on the floor. That's going to be a special cleanup job. Please leave them there. And sometimes I have to say it several times just because they're so used to just picking it up and putting it away. But please leave those, because those are going to be someone else's job, right? We want to make sure everyone gets a hand in cleaning up our classroom, taking care of our classroom. So I leave them out and I tell them, these are yours to clean up. This is what you're responsible for cleaning up. And you aren't moving on to the next activity until they're cleaned up. And so this means sometimes, actually just yesterday, we were having train track pieces all over the carpet area while I was reading a book. And everyone knew those are assigned to someone else. These are someone else's toys that they are going to clean up, that they are responsible for. And it really didn't bother anybody. They just left them there. We read our book. Our friend decided, hey, I want to listen to the book. I want to be the weather helper. I want to do the things I'm supposed to be doing. Let me clean these up real fast. And they got cleaned up super fast, and we went on with our day. But I don't have to do it very often, because it becomes oh yeah, if I do this, she's still going to make me do it. So I know I'm a buzzkill. I know I'm no fun. I'm not working. I don't let the go to the bathroom angle work. I don't let the you're too tired angle work. Yes, I know, but we all are going to do this together. So that has worked really well. Always have one or two that want to really just see what they can do to get out of it. And I am probably more stubborn than them, so it works out for me that I will just be completely consistent every single time. And so that's just it, right? Being super consistent with singing your song the same every time, having the labels, having things put away the same place every time so that it's not a question, right? And having that same type of procedure for our friends who don't want to clean up every single time. I will give you a task. If you choose not to, you're not moving on with the rest of the friends until it's cleaned up. And generally, that does it. And so, those are my tips. Do you use these type of cleaning techniques? Do you have one to add? Do you have something that helps? I'm not a firm believer in reward charts, things like that. So we don't generally do cleanup charts. I just found it's just not needed. I also feel like it's one of those things where you should not be rewarded for doing something that is already expected. So keeping our classroom clean is one of, like, keeping our classroom in order and clean, so we're not tripping, we're not stepping on toys, we're not breaking things, all those things. That's just part of the expectations of being in the classroom. And so there is no reward needed for that because that is an expectation. And so if it's not met, then I will leave this for you and we will move on. And you can come and clean this up when you're ready to move on. And so that's kind of the way that I've approached it in my classroom, because I feel like it's just, some things just aren't a choice, right? Some things are, we are going to do this because it needs to be done type of thing. And cleanup is just one of those times. And so I like to make sure that I'm very specific and I'm very consistent so that later all we do is ring the bell. Sometimes I don't even get all my songs sang before they've got it all cleaned up. They've got it under control. They know exactly what my expectations are, exactly how we do them, in the order we do them, and they just rise to the occasion, and it's just a normal day, right? It's not a, opportunity for them to get a sticker because they cleaned up so well, or an opportunity for them to get treasure box because they cleaned up so well. It's just an expectation for being a part of our classroom community. So that is kind of my rundown of cleanup time. I've seen a lot of people having trouble with cleanup time. Obviously, the younger you go in ages, the harder it's going to be to kind of get them on board, get them helping. When I did 3-4s, I remember being the bulk of the cleanup person. I was pretty fast. I could whip around there, but still made sure that children had some tasks to do. But just kind of setting your expectations for, if I have younger kids, this is either going to take longer. They might get distracted more easily. It might be too big of a task to ask them to clean up this whole ginormous mess. So that's when getting specific is really important. But they can do it, right? It's important to remember they can do it, but you may be there cleaning a lot as well. And, but no, it gets easier once you get through these procedures and really make sure you let them know what your expectations are. It gets so much easier. And then all you got to do is start ringing the bell or playing the song, and it's just wow, they just go into mode, and then you're done and you can move on to something else. So I hope some of these were helpful. I hope maybe you gained some ideas here that you can take back to your classroom. And also drop some comments if you have ideas for helping your friends clean. What does that look like? How can you share those with us and let us know what you do? We would love to hear it, because sharing is caring and collaboration is key when it comes to teaching. So I will see you all next Sunday. I hope you in the US have a fabulous Thanksgiving, and I will see you all next week. Bye.